Welcome back to the Clydesdale Media Evening News. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm the Clydesdale. She is Kat Shear, and we are so honored to have Carolyne Prevost with us, game superstar and rogue invitee. You guys had an early wake-up call today. Uh-oh.
Who is that?
My
There
earbuds
we
went
go.
dead for a second.
Wow, that was freaky.
Yeah, we had the shuttle buses come and pick us up at I think 6:40 they arrived, and then we were supposed to load up at 6:50. And if at 7 a.m. you weren't on the bus, you were not competing. So yeah, it was an early morning. I think I got up at 5:40ish, like about an hour before. Had breakfast with Lex here, and then hopped on the bus. And then it was about a 2-hour drive all the way to where we had the event today. I think it's so we all had the impression that it was the Go Rock Ranch, but I was watching an interview with Katie Henniger, and it seemed like it was their ranch, her and Bill's maybe. But yeah, so a 2-hour drive to all the way there.
That is the big rumor that it actually is the Henniger Ranch there in Texas. Not that we would have any idea what it is because they didn't release a single thing. I also heard that you guys were sworn to secrecy in a very intimidating fashion.
Yeah, so we had briefing yesterday afternoon, like at 4:45. Like I think it was given on social media as well. And during the briefing, they said I think they're mostly referring to filming standards and filming, like briefings and the warm up areas, just to kind of keep the privacy of the athletes, and also, like if there's any kind of judging stuff, I think they want to keep it between the athletes and the judges, and not have the entire internet chime in on what they think it should. I understand where they're going with that, and it was just like, keep it between us, and you guys focus on competing and less so on posting everything that is going on.
Because that never happens, right?
Yeah, because we're all posting everything. Yeah, so then, we went to that briefing. They didn't really give us much. All they said was bring a towel or change of clothes. We'll be able to get hosed down, and then trail shoes, food, and drinks. So like, I was under the impression we might be like running through water, stuff like that. Because I'm like, okay, we're getting dirty if we need to get hosed down, everything like that. But it was not as, I guess, of a dirty trail run as I thought it was going to be.
Is that actually the verbiage that they used? Hose down?
Yep, hose down.
That's insane.
So like, I had like, and we're all like, okay, like we're going out there for something that's.
It's going to be messy.
Yeah.
So I think the event was a 1.2 mile ruck run into a 1 mile run into a 2 mile run.
Yeah, a couple sandbags in there, or 3 sandbags in the middle.
And everything I've heard today is that the sandbags really weren't relevant to it was really just a run, and maybe the sandbags for good pictures, I think is what Lazar Jukic said earlier. So I think it's well known that you are not really an endurance runner.
Sprinter.
And so what were your thoughts when you found out it was this big long ruck run?
Yeah, I mean, I was okay with it. Like I normally am not really towards the back of a field in an endurance. I'm normally like in the middle / back third. But I guess when there's only 20 athletes, and you're in that kind of, normally I'm between like 15 and 22 maybe in a field of 40 during those events. And yeah, so I was 17th in this one. But when you only have one heat, if you know you're not catching that person in front of you and you have no one chasing behind you, you can kind of dial back a little bit. And that ended up happening for me with maybe 2 kilometers left, just over a mile, where I was running for a while with a group. I had like Manon and Barnhart and a couple others that were like within reach. and I just started to like evaluate where my body, like how my body was feeling. And it just wasn't worth the risk of trying to chase them and stay with them. I felt like I was suffering holding on to like push for an extra spot, which I might not even be able to catch up to them, would not be worth it when it's event 1 of 10 and I had no one behind me. So at that point, it was like, okay, you know what? We're just going to stay here. And that's basically what I did is I just kind of took it back a little bit and then slowed down a little bit from their pace and then held that until the end. Yeah, because you can see in the timings of people, there's definitely different tiers of runners within the field. And I just felt like I'm not within the top girls, obviously. I'm normally in the middle back of the field. And today I wasn't able to keep up with that middle back of them. There was a lot of hills though, like a lot of ups. Like we had to walk a lot of times, like with our hands on our like quads, like lots of rocks, fast downhills. I rolled my ankle maybe 20 meters in. Then I was fine. Like I was like, oh crap, like I need to focus a little bit more here and not look ahead. Cause like it was a mass start. So I'm more looking towards like, okay, where are we going and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it didn't end up like hurting me. Like the ankle was fine. I ended up twisting my ankle another time in the run on a downhill as well.
So you are not the only person to say that you hurt your ankle during this run. Was the terrain pretty messy and rocky?
There were rocks on it for sure. I don't think it was anything super, super technical, but if you don't focus, there's definitely a lot of rocks on certain parts of it that you had to focus. And I think the fact that I'm pretty bow-legged naturally, like if I don't focus, like my ankle will naturally just like my foot can turn outside very fast because my legs just go like that.
Have you had many ankle sprains?
When I used to fight like in Taekwondo, growing up, I had ankle sprains. And then my sophomore year of university for hockey, I had a high ankle sprain.
Those are worse, right?
Yeah. But like that wasn't like, yeah, my skate just got caught on the ice weird. And no. But I wouldn't say like nothing, like I don't normally have problems with my ankle. I'm just kind of clumsy sometimes when I run. And I think almost every trail run, I twist an ankle or something.
Well, I think the rest of the weekend you're going to be on a closed course, so you should be good to go. And it sounds like you preserved your energy in a really intelligent way.
Yeah, I kept thinking about like the back squats for the next day, and just kind of how many events are left. And like I said, it just was not worth the risk to attempt to come back within those girls that I felt like I could maybe catch one. And it just was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna stick right here. This is fine. And it just like it was what it was.
So speaking of that back squat event with the box jumps, are you allowed to explain to us whether you do have to clear the box?
They haven't released the briefing, so we're getting briefed tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume it's the regular huge. It's 24-inch boxes, so they have those like very wide, black soft boxes. I'm gonna assume it's just a regular box jump. It'll definitely change the workout if you have to clear it.
Yeah, because in 2019, I think you had to clear it, and they had those same boxes.
And then that becomes, do you wear your lifters? Do you not wear your lifters as well? Because most people, I would say most people enjoy back squatting heavy with lifters.
Right.
I enjoy back squatting with lifters. I think like right now I'm thinking about wearing lifters for that event and just kind of jumping, stepping down and keep going. But we'll see from there what the standards will be.
So I'm sure if people have been followers of the show, you are about 47 minutes away from being on the payroll because you've been on the show so much and we know you so well. What I want to ask, what we know about you is you do not like going overhead, but you love lower body workouts. So when you see like back squat and box jump, does that get you excited?
Normally, yes. I haven't back squatted super heavy recently, so I don't really know where my back squat is at. But typically I would say, yeah, anything lower body I would do well in. But again, this is such a strong field that when I think of a good workout for me, it may not be like a certain result that you get when the field is not as deep, like a semifinal or something like that. Like everyone's so good here that it's hard to see where you'll finish, I guess. But
Right. You'd prefer a deadlift and a
I would
back,
prefer a deadlift.
right? Yeah. Do you think that weight, that 275, is going to be a problem for any of the ladies in the field?
Absolutely.
For 5?
100%.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of girls that will struggle. I think I think a quarter of the field at least are definitely thinking about that weight.
Does that weight give you pause at all?
Yeah, it's not light. I mean, I'm not Danny Spiegel that like back squats like above 350 or something like that.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, it's still, I think the most I've back squatted before is like 315, 320. But again, I don't know where my back squat's at right now.
Right. Okay.
Do you go into this with like a little bit more conservativeness? Because if you miss a back squat, like it's over.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a game time decision. Like if I feel I'm about to miss, rack it. It's just not worth it at that point. I don't know what the rules are going to be. If we'll have to like clear the weights, rack it up, put the weights back on. Like at that point, you may have like it's going to be a fine line because 5 reps, like trying to go for 5, if you want to go like unbroken, yeah, it's not easy.
So we have a couple questions from the group, from the chat. Elise asks, what event are you most excited for?
See, I don't know the monkey bar one. I want to know more details on that. Normally, like I like obstacle stuff. I like athletic kind of stuff. But we don't really know what that event has. Like it has a hill run, like it's a short hill run. So I'm okay with those. Like I like hill runs that are, not 7 kilometers. Then there's a weighted pull. So I think we'll have to pull a sandbag up that little hill. But again, there's not enough details.
Little hill.
Yeah, there's not enough details for me on that one, but that one's intriguing. I mean, all the workouts are like, they seem fun. None of them I'm like super scared of. Maybe the log. I don't really know how I'll do with that one.
You didn't get to practice that one?
I did. I practiced, but I feel like it's just so awkward and I don't really know what anyone else can do. So it's really hard to know.
Right. You're not going to like go for a max.
You just don't know what other people are able to do with that weight. That I also don't know the format. Do you get 3 attempts or are we kind of going through a line at a certain weight? If you clear it, you move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Question about your ankle health here. Do you think that hockey's hindered your ankle mobility?
No, I actually have very good ankle mobility. Like my pistols, my heel never comes up. Like I have very good ankles.
Good stuff.
All right. So let's talk about the check-in. Really cool baseball jerseys. Love the look of that. What were your thoughts on the welcome to Rogue and all the stuff they did for you guys?
It was awesome. Last year it was all the cowboy outfits. This year was the baseball. I mean, we're obviously competing on a baseball field. I like they had the little like baseball area where you could actually hit. Yeah, you could actually hit. Like I just wanted to do that for the whole time. Like keep me here.
Hey, that might be event number 6. You never know.
I would love that.
So they showed a lot of the athletes swinging the bat. You were one of the few that looked like you've done that before. Did you just pretend it was a hockey stick and the plane had just changed? Or have you played softball, baseball in the past?
I've never played softball or baseball. My dad was a baseball player, so I grew up watching him and throwing the ball like at the field and stuff and hitting balls with him growing up. but never actually played like in a baseball or
So you
softball.
swung a bat at least.
Yeah, like I used to go with my family like to the batting cages and the golf range and like all the time in the summer growing up. So just mostly from that. I mean, I've gotten exposed to almost every ball sport or racket sport or sticks club sports. So I have good exposure to sports in general.
Well, if I remember correctly, you've won 27 national championships in 18 sports.
Yeah, I wish we
Something
could.
like that.
I would.
I'm counting.
That's the weird part with CrossFit is like it's obviously like a fitness sport, but there's something about like coordination of like a handball or hand-eye coordination that like you just don't get the test, but you wish that you could.
Yeah, especially watching the other athletes yesterday.
Yeah. I'm waiting for like the moving target on the wall balls or something. That's going to be the next
That's
thing.
interesting.
You know, could move it.
Yeah, like the only like really coordination movement that they say is like, well, I guess the snatch is coordination and timing, is a double under, and like I'm the worst at that, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm an athlete, but like there was like, oh, like that's the workout that tests coordination, and I'm like, no, that's not to me what I would define as coordination in an athlete. But
have you gone after those double crossovers since the games?
yeah, Alexis and I kind of do it weekly in an accessory, I would say.
Do you have the correct rope for it?
Yeah, so a bunch of us got sent from RX Smart Gear a little package prior to the games, maybe a week or two prior to the games, and that rope was in our package. So some of the athletes brought it to Madison. I never even thought to bring it because I knew I wasn't making top 5 in that event. So I just like had the regular rope because it's pretty hard to make top 5 in that sort of event.
I feel like
but you killed the single under version.
I was so pumped for that.
You beat Tia.
There are a few times I can do that. I can say that.
That's why we love you, Carolyne.
So
you embrace who you are.
What do you have in store for tonight, Carolyne? Rest of the night, just eating and sleeping?
Yeah. So we just had dinner. Probably just watching some TV a little bit. Head to bed pretty early. We have briefing tomorrow morning. I think at like 10. I'm assuming we'll get briefed for all 3 events. And yeah, so all 3 of them tomorrow is known. Like are known. So just kind of waiting around tonight, making sure I'm hydrated.
Good. It's going to be a fun Friday for us. Got the big screen up ready to go to watch you guys.
So before we let you go, we'll show the results. Anything surprise you with was Texas Trail Run today? With the results of like the girls or in terms of the event? Yeah, I'm just going to show the audience the results.
The leaderboard.
And you can talk over it. There are the female results. Can you guys see that?
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of them that are in the top 10, like I would expect them to be in the top 10 in this type of run. Like they're all great runners. I'm not familiar too much with Bailey Rogers as a runner, and she smashed that event. It'll be interesting to see like how she does in the other ones. But yeah, in that top 10, I mean, those are the top 10 runners in the field. So no surprise there. On the men's side, obviously, I expected Lazar to probably be a top 3 in that event, and he obviously got injured a little bit through the course. So when I passed him at one point, I was like, oh no, I was like, oh, poor guy. Yeah. It's like we all know he's such a good runner. So felt bad for him there.
Yeah, that box jump one's going to be difficult for him tomorrow if he can't get that thing.
Yeah, because sometimes tight. The next day, right, you start feeling a little bit more of the bumps and bruises and the impact.
Adrenaline's worn off.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah, and here
which
are the
event
men's.
Are you guys looking forward to seeing? Do you guys have a favorite on paper?
I do.
Which one?
I am a huge back squat guy. I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, that one's
going to be exciting. Back squat very often in a competition for reps, right? Like I don't remember the last time I've seen any event really that had back squat, like the total, but like that's a 1 rep.
Well, and I think it's
Yeah.
because of the logistics of the no rep, right? Like what happens if someone drops it? Like what do you do if you have to do it for reps? So I think that's probably why you haven't seen it. So
Yeah.
I think the judge brain in me wants to think that they've gotten that all taken care of and that it's going to make a whole lot of sense when they brief you on it, like what's required of you that to make it work, because that's kind of scary.
The other thing is the rain tomorrow, possibly, because like when I think of like the back squat, I obviously come back to think about the 2018 games when Alex Caron got injured on the back squat when it was a little bit slippery surface. So that'll be interesting. I'm sure Rogue will have contingency plans and stuff,
Right.
and maybe move that event around to switch an event if needed.
Yeah. If Scott's prediction is right about the last event being elimination style, I think that's the one that I'm most looking forward to, because those are just really electric and exciting to watch. The muscle up GHD one doesn't really, it's really boring to watch GHD sit-ups.
Or 80 of them on the spot.
Yeah. So that one doesn't quite excite me that much.
Me
but
neither.
it's to see, how everyone does. But the DT with the spin also, I think is kind of interesting. It's gonna suck.
I love regular DT. That's a good workout for me. But then with the Echo bike, I'm one of the smaller athletes on the field, and we all know the Echo bike is just a pure power output, and it definitely helps to have a little bit more weight on. Alexis is just telling me that they've pushed back some of the times for tomorrow, so 2 hours later. So
good. Okay.
Probably for the rain and stuff. That might be in the morning. Yeah, our second
you get to sleep in then.
3. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to explain why the back squat for me, I was pulling up the men's leaderboard there, but my back squat, my max back squat's 470. And so for me, even that 405 would be a very thin line as to whether I could do like 5 in a row, right?
I think that's the thing for all of us. Right. It's that fine line, like, can you do it unbroken? Right. It's
And does it have to be unbroken? I assume you could re-rack it. I mean, you're not doing yourself any favors by re-racking it in terms of time, but hopefully you could re-rack it, because I can't imagine, like you said, if you fail it on the bottom, what do you do?
Yeah.
Who's putting it back up there for you, or are you automatically just out?
No, I think we'll just have to clear the weights, clean it up, put the weights back on. Yeah.
How fast can you do that? Yes.
In 2018, when they had 3 attempts at the max back squat, I think it was Tia who missed her first squat, and she had to like hurry up and take the weight off, put on, and then did. I want to say it was Tia or maybe someone else. They went really, really heavy as their first one. And that'll be interesting too. How long is the corral? Because like picking up that first initial 275, if you've been waiting around for a while, like that is gonna
hurt. Yeah.
It's already very heavy for the athletes. So those long corrals are just awful. Like I wish there would just be like a couple minutes every event just to like touch a barbell or something, just like safety wise. Like,
yeah, it'd be nice if they could do like 2 floors at a time, and have like your setup and you just are at your station and you're doing whatever, and they give you like a 5-minute countdown and you can just clean everything up, and then they reveal it, here you are on your lane.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Last year you were there, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And so you had that like long walk jog from the outfield to the dugout. At least you're not in a static corral like most events, right? You kind of like jog down to the dugout and then you get to jog out onto the field. It's not like just sitting there waiting for 10 minutes.
The elimination style one was pretty long in the dugout though.
Yeah.
That's true.
Before we even started.
I know. I have an important question, and then we can let you go. Did you guys get to pick walkout music by any chance?
No. That would be cool, actually. Like,
right?
The biggest miss.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Baseball. That's everybody has a walkout song. Even like maybe just for like the last event. Maybe it's happening. Maybe I'll call Katie.
You got to pitch it to
so a little behind the scenes. Last year at Rogue, they did not pay to use licensed music. So they had unlicensed music play during the workouts, and the athletes were,
They hated
"What
it.
is this?"
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they pitched
Sprung.
in to get good music this year for the game, for the Invitational overall.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a huge
it
miss.
is nice to have good music playing when you're. Sometimes you don't even hear anything because you're just so focused. But sometimes when you're just kind of grinding it out there, you're just like, it's nice to have a good song to just sing or just lose
Yeah,
yourself to.
especially if they're going to announce you individually like that when you came onto because they did that at one point where you came onto the field sort of one by one. That would have been
Yes.
so cool to have that. Like I said, I'll let Katie know. We talk all the time.
Well, Carolyne, good luck tomorrow. We'll be watching and cheering you on. And we hope you do well the rest of the weekend. We know you always do well at Rogue. So I'm sure that you will light it up this weekend.
Yeah, stay tuned for any of the updates on the times, like Lex says. So some of the things may have changed. So
awesome.
Yeah, even in the chat, we're getting that it's 2-hour delay.
Yeah, that's what Lex was just saying. 2-hour delay makes sense.
So
all right, get some sleep.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. See you guys soon.
Right.
Bye.
Bye, Carolyne.
Bye, guys.